Everybody, my name is Jason and welcome to Small Biz, the #1 stock trading Discord on the mother effing planet. In today's video, we're going to pay proper respect to those who have served country, whether it's here in the United States or anywhere around the world. And before this video is over, I'll give you an update on Bitcoin and the impending death cross over the next few days. Where in the world are the queues likely to finish before the end of this year? And yeah, didn't I give you yet another winner, WORX at 27 and change? Last trade, 32 on the nose? Why, yes. Yes, I did. All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's been 3 weeks to the day. God bless each and every single one of you. And while you might notice a thing or two that's different about yours truly, let me start off by saying that I love helping people make money. Millions of fucking dollars in the last 27 months. 306 wins, only 19 losses, and since August the 1st, 45 and motherfucking O. And on this very channel and on Twitter as well at Small Biz Trading, I gave you WORX on the rebuy at 27 and change not even a few days ago. We own millions of shares in and around there. Last trade, 31.95. Where do I think it's going higher? And if that happens, that's 46 in motherfucking O, 10 grand. Invested in my pick since August 1st is worth more than $50,000. And how much would you have paid me for the privilege of making up upwards of 50 grand on tiny $2,500 trades? $200, if that. Right. Pinned in the top comment at the end of this video. But let me start once again. God bless each and every one of you. And this includes the families that support you around the world. Little known fact, I grew up in Antwerp, New York. Very small town of a couple thousand people. Minutes from Fort Drum and the 10th Mountain Division of the United States Army. My brothers and I used to stop the fucking trucks going by to rob them of their sea rations. And my sister and I, God bless her, she's right down the road from me here in Atlanta. We worked on base at the post office for much of my teen years. And then my father, rest his soul, and I would go play basketball, usually on Tuesday and Thursday nights on base. I have tremendous respect for those of you that have served. My grandfather was in the Philippines, rest his soul. He was a mechanic. So while he never laid down his life or had to pull the trigger like some of you did, whether it is in the Middle East or the Vietnam War, or in some cases both, he certainly had a few close calls. In fact, I want to tell you one quick story, and then we'll move on to Bitcoin, the Qs, and WORX. They were playing cards one night, and one of his best friends, his real name was Cardinal, but they called him Card. Well, the sirens started going off, right? Here comes the Japanese planes, or the Japs, as my grandfather used to say. So they're running as fast as they could for their dear lives to get into the foxhole. A bomb hits and goes off. It blows Card's pants clean off. They've got pictures of him clean off. Not a scratch on his right thigh, but there's a photo. It's still on the wall. My uncle lives in the same house that my grandparents had, of a giant pile of fucking coins, quarters, dimes, a few pennies melted together. Can you believe that? A bomb goes off, knocks Card's pants clean off, not a scratch, but a giant, probably 2 or 3 pounds worth of coins melted together from the heat of the shrapnel. And my grandfather was a tremendous, he was a guy that used to wear the Dickies outfits and had greasy hands. He had a junkyard and a gas station when he got back from the war. But he would clean up on Sunday, tie, derby hat, go to church, and the Cadillac, a big Fleetwood, pimping. And to this day, or to his final day, I should say, he would always open the door for grandma. Or when it was dinner time, pull out her chair. 65 plus years of marriage, right to the bitter end. The way it should fucking be. So God bless all of you that we've lost. And I know some of you have as well. I'm thinking of I Don't Give a Fuck. I know Joshua, who recently rejoined us. He's also a Marine. We have some Navy corpsmen, I believe it's pronounced, Army vets. Thank you. Whether you're currently serving, you've recently gotten out, or you've got family. I've got a brother who's a Marine. And while he's had major trouble staying out of prison for most of his life, I'm happy to say he's now out and he's doing very well. He's about 5 years younger than I am, maybe 6, and a great kid. But as many of you know, when you get into that world, whether you had to pull the trigger or not, it's very traumatic. And PTSD is real. So if you know someone, a friend, a neighbor, a family member who served, God bless them. Call them up, go knock on a door, send them a text, say, hey, we're just thinking about you. We love and appreciate all your sacrifice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, what the fuck is going on with the market, Bitcoin, and a stock known as WORX? Let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is arguably the best risk on or off indicator in the entire marketplace. It predicted the most recent sell-off to 598 and change last Friday on the Qs. Then we had the big bounce to 623. Last trade back up to 622 after a brief kiss of 617. Simply put, Bitcoin at 103 and change is headed towards a death cross by the weekend. The same death cross, 50-day over the 200 that happened in April, 4 fucking days before the low at 74 and change. In other words, during the fake trade war, when Trump was scaring everybody to death, I don't know, so his sons and all of his fucking buddies that got him elected could load the boat at least one more time. It was 4 days after the death cross, which most people think is negative, wrong, that you had a chance to buy Bitcoin at 74. This upcoming retest of that double bottom at 99 and change, approximately 4, 5, 6, 7 days from now, is going to be your chance once again to perhaps load up slightly below 100K, but it may not get there. The last time it happened in April, it was exactly 14 days, from the death cross till we took up and off above the zero line on something called MACD. And then exactly over a 30-day period, Bitcoin went up 31%. If the same pattern applies, and it looks identical, we come down to slightly below 100K for a third time, flush those stops if there's any left. And then about 7 to 10 days from now, we take off. We go back up and through the 200-day at 110. And if the math is the same, you've got somewhere between 135 and $1.50 by the end of this year, beginning of next. And while the great Tom Lee's still, even today, calling for 200,000 in Bitcoin, 7,500 in Ethereum by the end of the year, I think it falls just a bit short. So I would not be selling Bitcoin here at 103 and change. I'd be prepared for a slight retest, probably in around 100 or below that. Once we get the death cross by Friday or Saturday, 7 to 10 days forward, she starts to take off in front of the December 10 Fed meeting where they're definitely going to cut 25 basis points. I don't give a fuck what anybody's saying. When you look at the labor numbers, when you look at BlackRock, just ate $150 million hit from a realtor that they just funded and went bankrupt. We've got problems in the credit market. We've got a rapidly declining labor market, which means what? The Fed's going to be easy for the rest of Trump's term. And when Powell says, I'll see you later in May, they've got an even bigger lackey. One of them might be Moran. He's calling for a 3% mortgage. Trump was out again yesterday saying, I want the 10-year at 1%. Last trade, 410. So you actually think this market's going lower, whether we're talking Ethereum, Bitcoin, shitcoins, or the Qs? When they're going to lower interest rates, I will give you at least 125 to 50 basis points, probably not 200 plus over the next 6 to 12 months and beyond. This is a sweet spot, ladies and gentlemen. And frankly, I don't know what I have to say to get most of you to react. We just had 50 clowns show up for a free trial in August and September. 92% didn't pay their bill when it was due November 3rd. 92% during the same fucking time, 45-0. WORX, which I'll get to in a second, is going to be 46-0. We own millions of shares at 27 and small change. You could have done the same, kind of like the same open that 10x'd and the same DVLT that 10x'd from where I did a video at 38 cents. It went to $4. It's time some of you freeloaders wake the fuck up and click that link below so I can help you afford something like this. And yeah, it's real. I don't do drugs. Used to. I drink once a week. I don't have any toys, no jet skis, no snowmobiles. I've got a Tahoe in the garage out there that's fully paid for. I'm, for the most part, completely debt-free. And there are people that you know that not only have a small house wrapped around their neck, but they've made millions. That's with an S as in Sam. In the last 2.5 years. That link below, I'm giving away $200. Right on sign up. You'll see it on your dashboard instantly. That means your second month is free and you got money going into the third month. Do the math. Before I tell you about WORX and where I think it's going, do the fucking math when this video is over. If you had 45 straight fucking wins, average gain 35% in the last 3 months and a week, how much did you make? Probably at least 50 or 60 grand. How much of that would you have paid me? Less than $200. So when you see this gray hair or a guy who just says, you know what, I'm just going to disappear for weeks on end like I did. I don't want to say this the wrong way. I don't need to be here. I really don't. I can't believe the amount of money that we've made, especially in the last few months. If you were putting, let's say, $30,000 or $40,000 into an idea, and 45 fucking times you made 37%, and you're sending the government 6 figures every quarter, do you need to be here begging people for fucking $3 a day? No, I don't. But I come back at least once in a while because I have this tug on my heart, and those in the Discord know this to be true, that I want to help as many people as I can before I'm dead and gone, hopefully 40 years from now. Folks, I've been given a gift. I love helping people make money. It's what I do. And none of you are better than I am. In fact, none of the fucking clowns, 80% of which, did you see that? The great Tom Lee pointed out how 80% of fund managers are behind the S&P this year. And we've made 500% in the last 4 months. Are you fucking kidding me? I should be on CNBC. And while they fucking bleep every other word and laugh me out the door because I'm buying stocks like WORX, I don't know, for the second or third time that we made over 50% on it, and it's probably about to happen again. Give me a chance. I will not let you down. In closing, those of you in the Discord know that I have mutilated their investor relations department. I can confirm there is no at the market. There's no private placement. That 765 million share bump to 65 and all the fucking way back down again was either naked selling or the bots just slowly walking it back down. And you, along with me, had a few days to load up. We were in buying this morning. You'll see it in the new trades channel if you join us in the pinned comment below at 26 and change. We own millions of shares at probably 273. Last trade 32 on the nose. If you pull up the chart, you know it likes to make a run at minimum to 40 and small change. The last time it ran almost on 1 billion shares to 66. And as I shared another stock in the Discord last week, the setup is very similar to recoup half that move. So let's keep the math simple. 66 was the recent high. 26 or thereabouts was the recent low. That's a 40% move. 40 cent move. So 20 off the low is what? 46 or thereabouts. Until next time, always remember, no, you're not buying it here. You should have been buying it at 27. That I love you. And thank you to all of you that have served this country. We salute you.